It is 7:31, and you guys know how I am about being starting on time and ending on time because we are high-powered women and we have things that we need to do. I am Dr. Kelly, OMD, board certified OBGYN and healthcare executive. Here, you're on Ask Dr. Kelly, OMD. And tonight, I am so excited that we have my fellow Xavier alum, fellow OBGYN, and the estrogen doctor, Dr. Ferdinand. Go ahead, take it away.
Hi. Hey, all my Vivalifers out there, how you doing? So I wanted to touch on where I am, what I'm doing in the world, but most importantly, I am helping to transform women so they go into midlife like badasses that they are. And that's what I believe in. So tonight, even though menopause has a vast amount that we can talk about, and all I can say, and when Oprah starts talking about stuff, it's like everybody needs to start talking about stuff. But this is something that I feel needs to be an intergenerational conversation. I don't know about you, but I feel like I didn't have anyone to share these things with from my menstrual cycle and now almost to the exit. And so this is a time was to have open conversation and dialogue. And we don't need Oprah to set that dialogue off for us. We can be able to do this on our own. And I think with the vibe and the group that I have with me tonight, I think we're able to do it. So Dr. Kelly OMD asked me to share a few points about menopause. And like I said, it's a vast, we even talk about that this could be a series of a conversation. And I'm hoping that even with your questions that you have tonight, that can spark additional exciting conversation. So I like to break down first the definition of menopause. It's the absence of a cycle for 12 months. So no bleeding for 12 months. So key point, if you've experienced that and you start bleeding or something abnormal, then you need to see your physician and make sure that it's not something abnormal. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that key point in there. But I will say the transition is the better term to put menopause because your body is actually going through a significant transition where some key hormones are starting to decline. Many of us know those as our sex hormones or those that are produced in our ovaries or our gonads, specifically estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. But really, it is a significant symphony of a whole lot of hormones that end up getting upregulated, uprooted in some ways because that symphony becomes disconnected. And a lot of that has to do with the impact that's going on in your life. Who doesn't know someone in their 40s? Because in the mid 40s, about 5% of people can end up going through menopause, and about 1% may end up going through menopause less than 40 years of age. But it's that transitional time. A lot of people may notice about symptoms that are hot flushes, night sweats, difficulty sleeping, and just mood, and just overall, you feel like your body's breaking up with you. In actuality, I like to break it down into my 5 M's and make sure you remember this is a transition. All right. Your body is going through a significant transition. And what I mean by that, before I go into 5 of those M's, 3 we're going to concentrate on tonight. If you recall, in your high school or in your reproductive years, there were certain things that just where you were driven by. This is a time frame where either you're transitioning from superwoman model to you feel like there's a division in your life. Sometimes many of us are still caring for young children because we were late mothers. Others might be becoming empty nesters, dealing with aging parents, and a lot of impact where stress ends up being a major component and the fear of aging. So going back to those 5 M's, and we'll concentrate on only three tonight. First one is 1, ideally, menses, the absence of menses. 2 is a change in your moods. If you feel like you're going into a room and your husband or your significant others have left you because they don't know what kind of mood you walked in the door with, that is a good sign that there could be a transition going on in your life where your hormones are impacted. Another one has to do with momentum, changes in movement. And I'm going to add a couple of more in there that have to do with moisture and mental health. And actually, we're going to start right there because mental health, if anything, and the paradigm of what's going on in the world today, especially going through a pandemic, mental health has definitely been something that all of us are more aware of. And significantly, there are areas in menopause, because of the changes in the biological, a beautiful time in your life, that oftentimes women are more impacted by anxiety, depression, or just simply for those relationship changes that are currently happening in their lives. This is the most common time when women may start on antidepressant medications or seek mental health care because of not only the fear of aging, but this transition of the relationships, not only that you have with others, but a relationship with yourself. Oftentimes women are conflicted around this time period. Have I served my purpose? Have I been someone that am I really doing what I want to do? Am I still in this crapped out job or position? These are all things that can impact us mentally and therefore defray a lot of the symptoms that we can have in menopause and worsen them. The second one I want to talk about is momentum. Many of us already suffer from lack of energy or just feeling tired and not well rested when we wake up. Kelly asked me to mention 3 of the things that I would tell people in menopause, and my top 2 is hormones or everything and anything and everything can impact your hormones. The second is sleep. Sleep is the new sexy to me. If you want to know what time I go to bed, I try to go to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, no matter how much I've worked, because I know that's the single best thing that I can do to show up every day. And when we go back to momentum, and the energy that you need to conserve. So when we think about energy, that's the capacity of how we show up in the world every day and how we show up for others and ourselves. And believe me, there's so many things, like even literally estrogen itself has over 100 different functions in our body, from cardiovascular and any pertinent tissue that we work as a system as a whole. God made a very adaptive organ. So it's meant to move. It's meant to be a part of life. And that is part of the momentum, even from nutrition to stress drivers that we need to tap into to decrease, to improve our momentum. I mean, we can go through the spectrum of things of how we use solutions to improve the momentum that we have every day and how we show up in the world. And a lot of that has to do with the changes of this transition and this biological change. The third one is moisture. Do you know there are 100 different names for the vagina? So whether you want to call it the little noni, or what I was raised, I was told it was a pocketbook, whatever it is, it goes through significant changes. One of the particular terms we use in our world is called genital urinary syndrome. It's where not only we're impacted by the changes in the vaginal tissue, or what we call the epithelium or mucosa of the vagina, it's basically the skin. So it may go through natural hormonal changes due to deficiency of important hormones, specifically estrogen, but actually all the sex hormones play a part in the lubrication, and then also the viability of the tissue that strengthens around what we call our urethra. And so that's our little muscle that's around our where we usually urinate out of. And in this syndrome, not only people may encounter atrophy or a change in our skin or our tissue of the vagina, but also they may notice more urinary tract infections for some reason, or noticing that, oops, I coughed and I laughed and oops, did I pee on myself? Or and like literally there's a land of products in the aisle right now that cover those particular things. And then with that, I will say, when you add even these 3 M's, this is a time where I feel that it is the next phase of a woman's life, but it has to do with the strategy that what you did in your 20s may not fit for you in your 50s. So it doesn't have to be something to fear or feel that it's not something that you can take control of, because I am a total believer of being a CEO of your health. If you can be a CEO and the boss of the bedroom, boardroom, and home, you can in the beyond times of you living through menopause. And when we think about these particular transitions in our life, it can be scary. There's a lot of fear behind it because of these difference of relationships with ourselves and others. And if I had to point out something that is important, do not accept mediocrity during this time. Normal is not optimal. And optimal is where the magic happens. That's where your mojo is. And do not sell yourself short for someone that you're going to be dismissed with, someone that does not literally decide a care plan that's right for you during this time, because you don't deserve to be miserable, because there are options out there, there's solutions that can fit you. But most importantly, you being aware and being your own self-advocate during this time frame can allow this to be the beauty of time that it needs to be, just like you did when you turned 21.
Thank you, Dr. Lareesa, for coming on. How do we get in touch with you, Dr. Lareesa?
Great. So I am in the sunshine state of Florida, where we tend to be on the news every day. So, but you can find me at www.drlareesa.com, and I'll actually put that in the chat for you all, and you can visit me there. And I would love for you all to follow me on Instagram at Dr. Lareesa. But definitely when you come to the site, sign up because we give a monthly newsletter that has a lot of good information and ways that you can keep in contact with me. And if you have any questions out there, please DM or follow me somewhere and find me. And Dr. Kelly O knows how to find me too. So.
Absolutely. So as you all know, I'm at Dr. Kelly OMD on Instagram, as well as I put my bio link tree all up there, and drkellyomd.com all works as well. The other thing is Dr. Lareesa does a lot of research on femtech. So she's very active in the femtech environment, and we want to make sure that we get the first crack at whatever it is. So make sure you go to her website, sign up for what she is offering. I'm on there all the time. She has an event tomorrow night. I'm already signed up for that. And every single woman that comes to me and asks me about their hormones, I'm like, drlareesa.com.
She does.
So thank you, everybody. That's it for what we have tonight. We will see you next Ask Dr. Kelly OMD, which is going to be on next Monday, and we're going to be talking about mental health. All right. Thank you for being a part of the Vivalife experience. I'm Dr. Kelly OMD, board certified OBGYN and healthcare executive. If you like what you heard, then please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. The reason why is because we are trying to educate, encourage, and inspire 1 million people to live their healthiest and wealthiest life. And this is what we're bringing you. We're bringing you educational videos. We're bringing you podcasts. We are bringing you webinars with subject matter experts, including myself, about the topics that affect you the most. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. We are everywhere. Have a wonderful day. Viva Life.